So Donald Trump has just signed the executive order to declassify the files of the assassination of JFK, his brother Robert, and Martin Luther King Jr.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK.
Yes, sir.
If we can agree on anything, I believe we can all agree that Donald Trump is the greatest salesman that has ever occupied the White House. I feel like he's doing all this for clout and to get more of the American people to trust him. These assassinations happened more than 57 years ago. If we did find any wrongdoing, which I doubt, who could we hold accountable? Everybody that was involved is dead and gone now. And do I really believe that our government will leave any type of paper trail that would incriminate them? Absolutely not. However, I will admit it is interesting, especially with the assassination of JFK. So much mystery and theories and rumors have surrounded his assassination. It is interesting. Was it one shooter? Lee Harvey Oswald? Was it another shooter on the grassy knoll? We've heard so many rumors. And on top of all that, there are a lot of people who believe the mob was behind the whole hit. An ex-mobster by the name of Michael Franceschi did an interview with Vlad, and he said, yeah, he was told the same thing. The mafia was behind the hit.
Now, you believe that the mafia has something to do with JFK's murder?
Yeah, I believe that firmly because of what I was told. And there's no reason for people to mislead or lie to me. People, as part of that life, that had knowledge, yeah.
And what did you hear exactly?
From what I was told, it makes sense to me that, there was a deal struck with the White House through Joe Kennedy, and it was violated, and people on the street were very upset about it.
Okay, Joe Kennedy was the father.
Yeah.
Who was in the bootlegging business, the liquor bootlegging business.
Correct.
So he was already dealing with the mafia already.
Yeah, and at one point in time, they wanted to kill Joe Kennedy because he was either double dealing or not doing right on the street. And I think it was Frank Costello that saved him, or agreed not to kill him or whatever. So that's how entrenched he was. I mean, he knew guys on the street, 100%. He was the connection there. And there was a deal struck, and they didn't live up to it. And Bobby Kennedy went even further. I mean, he started prosecuting the mob. People were very upset.
Okay, and you think because of that, they actually put together a hit on John F. Kennedy using, what was the name of the guy that killed him?
Oswald?
Yeah,
And
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think the Italian mafia worked with Lee Harvey Oswald to kill Kennedy?
Yeah, now I don't know if they directly worked with Oswald. I mean, Jack Ruby, was certainly associated with us.
Okay, right, because Jack Ruby was one that killed Oswald after he was apprehended. He walked up to him and killed him right there in front of everybody.
As he was going to a court appearance. He was in custody, Oswald.
Right, and I remember reading about this, and I guess his reason was that, I guess he was a Jewish guy, and he wanted to show the world that Jews were tough, which is kind of a strange reason.
I mean, look, the government will never, all these documents that are under seal that would never been released, the government is never going to want to admit to the fact that the mob had a hit on the President of the United States and was able to carry.
Now, I know it sounds crazy and far-fetched that the mafia could have a sitting president deleted. But like I always tell y'all, truth is stranger than fiction. Now, when they unseal these files, do I expect them to find anything of substance? No, not really. I believe the government has done a good job of covering their tracks and scrubbing anything that's incriminating towards them. However, like I said, it's going to be interesting. Now, let's talk about Dr. King. When you had Dr. King marching for civil rights, getting bit by dogs, getting water hoses turned on them, and God knows whatever else. At the same time, you had a black leader by the name of Malcolm X, who said by any means necessary. So Dr. King was nonviolent, and Malcolm X said, yo, however we got to get it done, we're going to get it done. And I feel like more black people sided with Dr. King because he was a nonviolent leader. And I believe more black people thought we can make more progress with a nonviolent leader. I feel like Malcolm X, he was kind of risky. On top of that, he was Muslim, and Islam was still new to most black Americans. And they wasn't in the Nation of Islam. They really didn't know what to make of Islam. However, even though Dr. King was nonviolent and Malcolm X said by any means necessary, they both died a violent death by the hands of the government. This is not gossip. Years later, Dr. King's wife, Coretta, sued the government and won. A grand jury found the government guilty of conspiracy to kill Dr. King. And the same with Malcolm X. Years later, their family sued the NYPD because they played a role in Malcolm X's death. So even though one was nonviolent, one said by any means necessary, it didn't matter. They both had the same fate. And I feel like after Dr. King got killed, I feel like it took so much life out of black people. Think about this. Since Dr. King got killed, when is the last time black people had a real leader? When is the last time black people had a leader that everybody rallied behind? It hasn't happened. And after Dr. King, you had the Panthers. They had the same fate. Either they got killed or got put in jail. And I think a lot of black people just lost hope, saying, what's the point of fighting? Because it's always going to be the same. And if black people get too many white people on their side, if they get too much notoriety, they're going to get killed the same way other black leaders did. And I feel like it just took so much hope out of black people. A lot of black people just stopped fighting. So now you got Trump. He wants to unseal these files. And I hope there's nothing in there that would tarnish Dr. King's legacy. Because if you've seen the movie Malcolm X, you know they were saying they had Dr. King's phone tapped, and I'm not going to say he was cheating, but they were saying he was having some extramarital affairs. And I hope that's not true. And I hope that doesn't come out and tarnish his legacy. But like I said, I think Trump is doing this for clout. I don't expect too much change to come from this, but we're going to find out. But hey, like always, I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. They call me Nizzy Nice, and we rollin' ratchet.